Right now, we want to take some time to hear from some of those special people in Eric's life. Mindy has identified several family members, dear friends and colleagues, to come and just share a little bit on behalf of Eric's life. And so we want to begin by introducing Kevin Lloyd, Eric's brother. Kevin, could you come to the stage, please?
Hi. I want to reiterate what my stepdad and my dad said about the procession on the way here. That was amazing. It was really cool. Hopefully I can do this. Eric was 2 years, 2 months, and 2 days older than me. And first 14 years of my life or so, we were always together, did everything together. Taught me how to tie my shoes, but he taught me wrong, so I had to learn the right way. He made these 2 loops, and it was stupid. But yeah, he was a natural leader. All the sports we played, baseball, he was always the pitcher. Football, he was always the quarterback. We played a lot of basketball. I would always beat him though. But he was a big positive influence. We went a lot of times without talking to each other, but last summer I was here for a family reunion we had with my grandma, and that was great. And last Christmas he was up in Washington and came over to my house, got to see him. And then my family and I were visiting my mom on 4th of July just a month ago, and he came up to see us, though. I'm really glad I could see him. I'm going to miss him. Thank you all for coming.
Sharing. Can I invite Jon Luther, another one of Eric's brothers, to come to the stage, please?
Good morning, everybody. You're gonna have to forgive me. I got to bag on him one more time. I'm amazed he made it here this morning. I've never seen him up before 10 a.m. So, sorry. Thank you for coming to honor Eric. As it was said, my name is Jon Luther. I'm Eric's youngest brother. As my last name suggests, Eric and I were half-brothers. And consequently, I'm fairly removed from my siblings with respect to age. Eric was about 15 years older than I am, which I made it my point to remind him of for each one of his birthdays after he turned 40. My earliest memories of Eric mostly centered around his preparing to graduate from high school and his subsequent move to college and beginning his life here in Las Vegas. I spent quite a bit of time growing up with Megan and Kevin, but Eric became somewhat of a mysterious person that I didn't know a whole lot about. When Cassie was in her younger years, my mom would babysit her, take care of her quite often. And again, I'd always hear of this often discussed, but not always seen long-lost brother. So just out of sheer curiosity, it was a significant event for me whenever he would come to visit us, or we would have the rare occasion to be able to come visit him here as a family. Mostly just to try and figure out what this guy that kind of looked like me was all about. Eric was the first cool guy I ever knew. And when I say that, I don't mean it from arrogance or from like a place of vanity. I mean that I saw from him and I learned from him the importance of how you're perceived in this world. The difference between Eric and most others was that Eric made it his goal to make good on those perceptions. He was the real deal, and he could back it up. It wasn't about getting ahead in life unless he earned it, and he could deliver on the promises that he'd made. Early on in my career, when I'd reached that point where I was waiting for the opportunity that meant my career would continue or stall, I got the golden phone call with a job offer here in Las Vegas. And I remember asking Mom if she thought he would be okay with me asking if I could live with him for a time while I was getting on my feet. I remember she said she thought he would love it. And after a short conversation with him, as we know many of them were, I remember very vividly hearing an undertone of excitement in his voice. Normally it was just that monotone Eric, but I could tell he was excited at that prospect. So to paint the picture for you, I was in the earliest part of my career making very little money. My wife was providing the majority of our income. Her father was battling terminal brain cancer, and she was pregnant with our son. I'd already given up on that season's prospects of getting hired and continuing on, and was coming to terms with having to give up on aviation altogether. When the opportunity dropped in my lap, I wasn't sure what to do. I had a great deal of encouragement from everyone. But I'll be honest, that small amount of excitement in his voice was a lifeline. A lot of bad things in my life at that time. It's like he gave me permission to remember that I had something to look forward to again. And I couldn't have made it through that hardest time of my life without him. Not just because he and Min gave me a place to live, but because they gave me family when I would have otherwise been very alone. We were brothers, but he gave me much more than that. He provided me with friendship that I didn't know I needed at that time. And I don't know if he knows what that meant to me. I know that I've told him. But his only response would ever be, we're family, man. We're what they called a blended family, and we've always had our varying levels of closeness as siblings, with the age difference and where life has taken us to different places. Although I've never felt like we were half of anything from any of my brothers or sisters. Didn't matter where we were in our lives. With Eric, I could go from 1 or 2 phone conversations a year to living at his home to visiting him, and it was still like I had lived there. That's something that's special, and it's something that's unique. That's family, and that was Eric. We've heard a lot of perceptions of Eric, and we're going to hear a lot more. And all those perceptions come together to make up the tapestry of somebody's life. And his is beautiful. Thank you.